What is going on, everybody? Back at it again with another YouTube video. And sorry for the last 2 days. I didn't have anything to post. It's just as simple as that. I didn't know what to post. I didn't have any topics. There's only really the draft that's happening in real time. And, I wanted to find something else to talk about because I knew I was going to talk about the draft on Wednesday and Thursday. And I'm also going to be talking about a prospect today after this video, so I will be making up for the past 2 days missed, and I will be putting out 2 videos today. Now the first video is 76ers. Haven't had basketball in over a month, almost 2, and just wanted to get on here, talk about some of the things that have been happening around the Sixers. I guess you can say the media with all that going on with past players and now present players, with good news today on Ben Simmons. And then my next video will be on Brandon Ayuk, and stay tuned for that. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. We're at 319. Let's try to hit 325-ish subs by, I don't know, the end of this week. Let's just keep grinding out these videos, and hopefully sports can get back sooner rather than later. Now, to get into today's topic on Ben Simmons, I wanted to touch on Brett Brown and JJ Redick. That was going to be the original video. I was always going to do a Sixers video. It was just a matter of if there was going to be any news or if it was just going to be on JJ Redick talking about Brett Brown. So that's what I'll get out of the way first, and then I will go on to Ben Simmons. So JJ Redick commented about Brett Brown a couple days ago, after Jimmy Butler really said that there was no, alpha dog in the locker room kind of thing. There was no true leader of the team, and that's one of the reasons why he left. I feel like it was Brett Brown, the reason why he left, and I'm pretty sure he did say that somewhere. Not, outright, but he was kind of hinting at, Brett Brown was the reason, this happened, that happened, and that is why I'm no longer a Philadelphia 76er. I am on the Miami Heat. But JJ Redick commented about Brett Brown, saying, "We're all aware of the criticism of Brown, right? I know there's some level of it. I don't know what the word is, maybe animosity and displeasure. It's always easy to blame certain people, but I would love to play for Brett again. I don't think Brett is the problem. If there's a problem, sometimes things just don't work out." Now, to talk about that, I, for one, am not the biggest Brett Brown fan. I'm not. I never was. Last year, I felt bad for the guy, I thought he did deserve to have his job back after the quadruple doink. He brought us to Game 7. We were literally one win away from the Eastern Conference Finals, and maybe even a Finals berth and win. Who knows what would have happened? But we lost to the prior champs. Kawhi Leonard was on an absolute tear. He was on a world of his own. He was the best player in basketball at the time. Durant goes down, Thompson goes down, Boogie's obviously not playing. And, that sucks and everything like that. But, who would have really known what would have happened if we even would have gotten past Milwaukee, if we would have won, if Durant would have torn his Achilles during the series against us? We don't know. We don't know that answer. But I can say for a fact that I did not think Brett Brown deserved to get fired after the quadruple doink fell. I didn't. And I was the first person to say that. After a couple days of, grieving and getting myself back together, because obviously as a diehard Sixers fan, that hurts. It hurt more. That was the worst loss I've ever experienced. It was awful. And, I wanted to get the team back together, and I knew that wasn't going to be possible. I didn't know who we were going to bring back, but I did, in fact, want Brett Brown back as the head coach for the next season, for this season right now. Now, looking back on it, would I say the same thing if I knew the outcome? I don't know. And I say that because Is Brett Brown the problem? Is it the system? Is it, the players coexisting with each other? Do we really know what the issue is, or are we just blaming it, like JJ Redick said, on Brett Brown? Are we doing that? I don't know. I want to say a little bit of a yes, but also only so much can go on Brett. But also, you got to think, you have 5 good players in your starting lineup is probably, I would say, still the best in the NBA. Richardson, Horford, Embiid, Ben, and Tobias, I feel is the deepest, and we're still the lengthiest starting 5 in the NBA. There's no doubt about it. Milwaukee has a great lineup. The Clippers have a great lineup. The Lakers have a great lineup. But you have 4 All-Stars. Tobias hasn't made one, but he's gotten snubbed a couple times, and he's a potential All-Star. He can be an All-Star eventually in his career. If he won't be, it's whatever. He was always good enough to be an All-Star. It's just dependent on, who was number 1 at the time. Because I guarantee you, if we were number 1 in the Eastern Conference during the time of the All-Star game, I'm sure Tobias would have gotten the nod over, I don't even know. But, you know what I'm saying. But I do not want Brett Brown back as my head coach next year. I do think maybe it's not his fault. Maybe it is some of the players' faults. Maybe it's Joel, Ben, and Brett's fault. Maybe it's Elton Brand's fault. We don't know. We are spectators. We are fans. We do not walk into the locker room. We do not practice with these guys. We do not know anything. We know what the media tells us, and that's about it. But I do not want Brett Brown as my head coach next season. I don't. I think it is time for a change of scenery. I think it is time for a new system of play. Brett has been the head coach for the Sixers for the last 7 years? It's time to move on. We haven't gotten past the second round, and I understand what he did for the city. I understand what he did for the team. We were the worst team in the league his first 3 years of coaching. Then we get to the playoffs. We go play Boston. We lose. Then we go to the playoffs. We go play Toronto. The luckiest shot of all time happens. But this year, he had no control of that team. He had no control over this team whatsoever. We were like 36-25, I want to say 36-24, before, or 37-24, 37-25. We were over 500, but we were tied for 5th. Now, the last 2 seasons prior to this one, we were 3rd place in the East. We wouldn't even have touched 3rd place. We might not even have had a home court advantage playoff series. We really might not have gotten even the 4th seed. We were tied for 5th with Indiana. Our next game was the Pacers, so I'd say we would have won that. But who knows? Who knows? With that being said, I really just think it is time for a change of scenery. It has something to do with Brett Brown. I'm sure it does. But I also the main reason why I do not want this man back as our head coach is because I just want a change of scenery. I just want a change of scenery for the Philadelphia 76ers. We are not tanking anymore. We don't need to lose these games that we're losing. We don't need to lose on the road every game to the Hawks, to the Pistons, to the Warriors. Of all teams, the Warriors, without Steph Curry, without Klay Thompson, without D'Angelo Russell, without Durant. We lost to Draymond and a bunch of scrubs. And, I get it. We didn't have Ben. I don't even know if we had Embiid. But you still should not be losing to that team when you still have Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris, and Al Horford on your team. I don't want to hear that. Now, getting into Ben Simmons. He is expected to return from injury if the NBA season resumes. Now, do I think the NBA season is going to resume? I don't know. I'm leaning more towards no than yes, and if it does happen, I think it's not going to be until July, and even then, I don't think there's going to be fans in the stands. I'm just hoping for fans for football. At this point in time, I really just rather have fans in football games than not. Baseball, you can have it in Arizona, you can have it in Florida. You can have the NBA season with no fans. Yes, I know it sucks, but who really knows what's going to happen? That's why I think if there's no fans, I really cannot see the NBA season resuming. And that's the big story. No fans in the stands. I mean, if the Sixers and the Flyers didn't have fans in the stands, they would not be as good as they are. The Sixers are a good home team because they have the Philly faithful behind them. The Flyers are a good home team because they have the Philly faithful behind them. It's as simple as that. They suck on the road. Both teams aren't the best on the road, but the Sixers suck on the road. It's that simple. They are abysmal on the road. They're awful. The Flyers are a little bit better, but they had that streak right before New Year's where they were awful on the road. They lost to the Ducks, they lost to the Kings, they lost to this team, that team, San Jose. They just lost to the whole West Coast. And I understand the West Coast trip is a very hard trip for both teams. You're going over across the country, not playing at home for 4 straight games, maybe 5. And, obviously for the Sixers, you're playing the Clippers and the Lakers in Staples Center, probably on, back-to-back games. And then you go into Golden State with, Steph Curry's still Steph Curry. He's probably the best point guard in the league, in my opinion. Maybe not, I don't know. But when healthy, the Warriors are still very good. Yeah, you got Phoenix, but it's Phoenix. Yes, Devin Booker kills us, but we usually come out of Phoenix with a W. And then Sacramento, my God, before this season, we were awful against the Kings in Sacramento. We lost like the last 5 years against them on the road. So, yes, the road stand is very hard for both Philadelphia teams on the West Coast. And, who knows? I just can't see the NBA season returning. I can't. I would love it to. I would love Ben Simmons to come back and play because obviously his back injury, if they're just saying he was expected to return, he would have missed almost the entire first series of playoff basketball. And who knows if we would have won without Ben Simmons. I don't think we do. Ben Simmons is a huge piece. In my opinion, Ben Simmons is a top 5 point guard in the league. Honestly, I strongly believe that. Now, I can give you a ranking video or anything like that. I'm not going to do that. Not at this time. Maybe like in a month or so, depending on what's happening with all the sports and the virus and everything like that. But as of right now, I do believe that Ben Simmons is the top 5 point guard in the league. As soon as this kid gets a jump shot, it is game over for the league. It's game over. He's a stud. Ben Simmons is he's so good. He's so good. He's so fun to watch. If it wasn't for Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons would easily be my number 1, athlete in Philadelphia. Probably over Bryce, but you got Embiid, so that does make you love Embiid more, and then that falls into Bryce Harper being second. I don't know how that works. That's just how my mind works. But Ben Simmons with his back, it would have been great to see him come back and play if the season resumes. I really just don't believe that's going to happen. I just can't see it happening at this point in time. Let me know your comments down below. Also, leave a like, leave a subscribe. And if you haven't already, watch my last 2 videos. I haven't posted in 2 days. My apologies on that. Daily uploads will be starting back up today. I will be posting a video right after this one. Thank you all for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm out. Peace.